Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Arun here, and interesting times ahead. I've got Teddy with me here in my room, working with me here today. So I thought I'd keep her on my lap just to cheer everyone up a bit because she's a very cute dog and very friendly, but she'll probably jump down in a minute. But I know she's going to bark. But today, I'm going to start talking about a lot of things, okay, that are affecting us currently. Obviously, this whole situation is pretty dire, okay? However, we've got to get through this, and we're going to get through this together, okay? And we're going to make sure that this webinar, and we're going to be doing this on a regular basis, is there to help you with our ideas, our thoughts, everything you need to know about these issues that we're all facing. I certainly don't claim to have all the answers, far from it, indeed, okay? However, I certainly will have lots of information since I've been talking to lots of clients, talking to lots of different providers out there, lots of finance people, everything out there. So I hope you find this useful, and I hope you find this interesting. Okay, so where are we going to start? Right. Most importantly, okay, I personally think this whole issue that we've got at the moment is 99% emotional, 1% tactical. So what do I mean by that? Well, these things are sent to challenge us. Therefore, we all need to step up. Everybody out there who's in business has to step up and manage these situations. So you're going to have to step up and be a leader like you've never been before. Now, what does that mean? Okay, well, you're going to have to lead your team, okay, to a really to make this happen. So what does that mean? I know people are worried. I know there's concern. I know people are kind of concerned about cash flow. I know they're concerned about no patients coming through the door. I know all of these things are concerns of people. But your only way you're going to get through this is it's not alone, okay? It's by talking to people, but also engaging your team, okay? Engaging the people that you've got out there. So your support team, okay? So your support team will include people within your normal team, but it will also include people outside, people like your accountant, people like your lawyer, people like other suppliers and things, okay? So really, really important that you engage your team, because you won't do this alone, and your team need you, but at the same time they need you, okay, and you need them rather, okay? So what I'm trying to get to here is you're going to have to be a leader in these times. There might be times where you have to cut back on money that you've got for yourself, but help your team, support them. So team. Now, one book I will stress for you to read, okay, is this one here, The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek. Actually very relevant in these times, okay? It's about being, I suppose, playing, rather than keeping things finite, but really trying to play infinitely, take your business into the next generation or the generation beyond. Now, you might be thinking, how am I going to actually pay my bills next week, let alone the next generation? Well, if you engage your team and they buy into your vision, buy into your goals, buy into what you're trying to create, it will make a huge difference, because they will support you as we go through this crisis. And once they've supported you and you've got through this crisis, they will then be there and loyal forever, because you've helped them, they will help you. So I won't dwell on team too much and leadership. I'll come back to that maybe another time. And I've got some videos that are coming out on that shortly. I suppose the next big area, question I'm getting on, is marketing. Now, I will cover after team, marketing, patients and clients, how to deal with them, and lastly, cash flow. I'll touch cash flow in more detail right at the end, okay? So marketing, the question I'm getting is, how should I be marketing? My practice is virtually dead, okay? No patients may be coming through the door. What am I going to do, okay? So two schools of thought here. First school is cut your losses, stop your marketing, and don't do anything, okay? And wait for the business to come back, wait for when we can open again and start the business. Well, I personally totally disagree with that approach. However, there are some certain changes you need to make. So if you've got this downtime, the first thing is the opportunity to look at what you've got. What is your marketing collateral? You might have a website. You might have printed material, all of these things. Now's the time to reflect and review what you have. One of the things I know we're going to be doing, okay, is looking at our Neemtree website. My wife's dental practice is a Neemtree website, and kind of pretty much taking it apart and rebuilding it, getting a new website doing that in these times. Why? Because I know we will need a damn good website after we come back to entice patients, to entice potential customers, to entice people into the practice. Okay. Number two really is talking, and therefore getting the right people to help you do that. Number two, our business has been very heavily reliant on Google pay-per-click, Facebook pay-per-click over the last few years. Okay. Now we have certainly cut our budgets down on both of those platforms significantly, but we still know that people still need treatment. So people who have pain, people who need emergency. So we're still advertising on Google pay-per-click emergency treatments, and we're getting inquiries still. We are still open currently. We may change, that may change in due course under further guidance, but we are still getting emergency patients coming through the door. Existing patients are calling up and saying, "Oh, I've still got pain, can I get this sorted out?" That's what we're still doing. Okay. In addition, on the pay-per-click side of things, it's trying to get that fine balance right. But remember, people will be online, okay, during this time. I'm working from home. My whole Samara team are working from home. I've got all my friends, everyone in the city, everyone really is working from home now. So, except for dentists, unfortunately. And therefore, there'll be a lot more activity on social, on websites, on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it. There'll be a lot more activity. So the opportunity is then to get your information out to them. How are you going to do that? Well, one through pay-per-click on Google, but the other medium, which is well known and pretty much universal, is Facebook pay-per-click and Instagram pay-per-click, all under one platform. So one of the things that we're doing is we've got a really strong and planned content strategy. So what content, we're going to be putting content out there onto these social platforms. So we need to obviously record, have to record videos to provide content out to patients who are watching, to provide advice. So questions like best foods for children whilst at home and their diets, those types of things are really very important as well. So video content, blog content, all of that needs to go out there into the domain. And how do you get that out there? Through the social platforms. Okay. So if you've got time on your hands, and maybe you will, maybe you won't, maybe you'll be one of those key workers as a dentist, then obviously you'll be very busy doing something else. But if you're not, or if your team, and this is your team where they can help you, if they're not working or if they've got downtime, they can then help you produce this content, create this content, and put it out there into the wider world. Okay, so marketing is, in my opinion, really important, because if you're looking to do other treatments further down the line, things take time. People don't decide on a dentist there and then. They nurture. It's nurture. They see the information, they read the information, they read the blog posts, they watch the videos, all these types of things. That trust is built up. And that trust doesn't go when you stop the marketing. You need to build that trust up over time, and people will come to you once things open up normally again, which they will. Okay. So that's marketing. So I'm trying to do this, keep this short and punchy whilst people have lunch breaks, if they have lunch breaks. Okay. Number 3 is communication with your patients, dealing with your patients. Now, in my opinion, the key is communicate, over communicate, engage with your patient base as much as possible. Obviously, they need to know whether you're open or not. Your website should say such information, but you should be potentially emailing them, updating them what's going on at your practice, obviously with the precautions that you're taking within your practice if you're still providing care. Your phones potentially could be diverted to a call center or to someone in your team who's managing those phones if your practice is closed, to give advice. And so other advice out there could be, and it could be on your website, it could be on your homepage, it could be, you could be leading them to it, is what to do in the event of a dental emergency and dental pain, all of these types of things, which are very, very important, because that trust that you've built up with your community, people want to know. Okay, if there's radio silence from your side, okay, people will think, well, he's shut up shop, but he doesn't really care about us in the community. Why would I want to go back to that dentist when they do open up? So really, really get the message out there. And that goes back to the marketing side of things, of producing good content, producing good information for patients, and then obviously by yourself or your team, okay, and getting that out there on your different platforms of social or email. Okay, so patients, clients, Really, really important. Okay, communicate, 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 communicate. I can't stress how important that is. Excuse me. And then I suppose the fourth angle I'm just going to cover here today, in addition to leadership, whether you should be marketing still, and how you communicate to patients, is going back to cash flow. Okay. Now, cash flow is key. All right. How are you going to be? How are you going to do that? How are you going to manage your cash flow? So if you haven't already, if you're a practice owner or even an associate to some extent, because this cash flow can still be used for anyone who's got cash flow problems. On our website, on our blog post, there's a cash flow template that you can use and download. And I've had quite a few clients come back to me, or non-clients come back to me, saying it's been very helpful for them to basically plan their cash flow over the next 3, 6, 12 months to ascertain how much cash they need. Okay, because you could be closed for 3 months, you could be closed for 4 months. So effectively, your income is zero, but you still have the expenses, those expenses of rent, those expenses of staff, those expenses of rates, those expenses of materials, whatever you've got, okay, those expenses of whatever in your business. So you need to figure out, okay, my cash balance is X now. In 3 months or 6 months time, what will my cash balance, what cash balance will it be? How negative will it be? So therefore, that negative amount is the amount that you effectively have to borrow from a bank or find from another source. Okay, so the first step is to determine your cash flow situation. Okay, and plan for that. Plan for that cash flow situation. Then the second aspect is saying, how am I going to get that cash? Where am I going to get this cash? I don't have any money in my bank account. I don't have any savings saved up. How am I going to do it? First thing, if you've got a bank, if you're banking with a bank, contact your bank manager. NatWest, Lloyds, all the main banks out there are providing payment holidays, capital holidays, up to 6 months. Okay, so hopefully you've got a good relationship with your bank, call your bank manager, and they're pretty quick in coming up with a decision. I know personally, I've done it for my businesses, and they came back to me yesterday saying it's all okay. However, it might take a few weeks to get all the paperwork lined up, but in principle, it's all been agreed. Okay, so from banks on the business front, definitely do that. Secondly, mortgages. If you haven't done that on your mortgage, your personal mortgage, if you're home, they're doing that up to 3 months, I've noticed. Okay, whether it's a mortgage on your personal home or it's a mortgage on a personal buy-to-let that you may have as well. So definitely look at that. Another question I had from a client this morning, and I'm trying to get this detailed, and we're putting a table together as we speak, are the asset finance companies, people who've got leases paying each month for equipment that you bought in your practice. Are the companies being amenable? Are they providing payment holidays? By and large, it sounds like they are. They want further information. They're a bit more tricky, I think, but definitely approach them. I think most people want to be seen to be helping businesses out there, and therefore these payment holidays seem to be kind of gathering kind of momentum out there. Next side of things is then looking at the government has announced government loans. Now, these government loans that are out there, the British Business Bank is going to be administering them via the other banks. Further detail is to be emerged. Okay, however, it's going to take some time, so you've got to be patient here. So you're going to have to provide cash flows. I imagine you're going to have to look at past accounts. The bank will make a decision, and then if it meets the criteria, then you'll be able to get this business loan. Now, these business loans are approximate. They're going to be, no one knows the amount, but it's up to 5 million. But first 6 months will be interest free, which would be helpful. But further than that, I don't really have any other criteria on that. So time will tell, but we have to, for everybody. Okay, just got a question here. Does personal mortgage you're referring to for dental professions only? No, absolutely not. They are offering mortgage holidays for anybody. Okay, so if you're a builder, whatever, okay, accountant, lawyer, for everyone. So contact them. Okay, it's not just for dentists. Okay, just make a note of that. So that's the business loan. We're waiting to hear more on business rates. I think the the BDA have written to the relevant parties to see if business rates for dentists can be covered, i.e. a reduction in that, especially for private practices. No news on that as yet. Insurance is another area that we've had interest, which is interesting. I've spoken to various insurance people out there. Difficult to say. We will only know how kind of helpful insurers will be after this event. Will they play ball? Will they pay out? However, I would suggest you keep your records, make sure you plan for this downturn, make sure you have all the records and you can paint a strong picture, and definitely make a claim at the end, okay, when this is over, via your insurance company. Really, really important that is, okay, because that could be a significant amount of money, even if you don't necessarily have business interruption insurance place, because I think you could hear from the words that the government was saying, they will support this. Let's see, okay, but we can only hope. On my list here, I'm just trying to read here. I suppose the next element is to look at within your business, there will be certain cuts you might need to make. So as I mentioned earlier, for instance, Google we spend a lot of money on Google for advertising in our private clinics. We've cut that back drastically. We don't need to spend that much, for example. Other expenses we'll be looking at in terms of ordering materials. Obviously, we won't need to order so much, so let's cut back there. So it's about being shrewd enough to think, okay, what do I need to cut and where do I need to keep spending money? But at the same time, you don't want to cut too much, because that can have a detrimental effect on your business, okay, when you need to come back. And remember, some of these suppliers, whether it's a lab or anyone like this, they need your help and support. So obviously you need to pay them. Maybe you need to talk to them saying you've got some cash flow issues. Can I pay you a little bit at a time? Maybe that may be the solution. So manage that cash flow, manage those things that you've got. And I appreciate you've also got household expenses, mortgages, that's children's school fees, or whatever it may be, okay? All of these things have to be paid for. So you've got to be shrewd and be clever and hopefully help, okay? In terms of landlords, again, varies case by case. We've had some good success with our landlords. They've been quite amenable, saying, yes, rather than pay us quarterly in advance, if you can pay us month by month, that's absolutely fine. So there's a letter on our website, or an email template on our website you can use as an example, okay? I note there's a message from someone here saying that they got fobbed off by HSBC for their mortgage. Certainly sorry to hear that. However, I think give it a day or two. I think if you call them again, I think they may be more amenable, because all of the banks have different policies, and ultimately it's being dictated by the government. So the government will be putting pressure on these banks to support people. Okay, so I would say go back to them. Tax, another payment that we all have to make as business owners. There's PAYE tax and national insurance you have to pay month by month. That is, the jury's out on that. My team are talking to HMRC at the moment, trying to find out, are they going to allow people to defer it? My gut is they will, okay? And even if you are a little bit late, I'm sure there'll be a lot of flexibility in that. So I would say if you've got problems paying HMRC on PAYE, definitely defer that. You can delay that. There's also a time to pay hotline that HMRC have got for your other outstanding VAT, or not VAT, that's tax, such as corporation tax or personal tax. I would call them as well, okay? So there's a lot going on. This is moving at a very, very fast pace. I would strongly suggest you keep your head not in the sand, but out of the sand. Be aware of what's going on. But really, from the government tactics, and I believe Rishi Sunak is going to be making another announcement later today, okay, definitely see what they say, and we'll be updating as a result of that. One of the other questions I've just literally got is associate tax bill as well. Yeah, absolutely, okay. This is affecting everybody, not just dentists or practice owners. Contact HMRC and ask for time to pay. So I need some flexibility here. The floor from my house has dropped. It's fallen. The world has changed overnight. Talk to them. They will hopefully be accommodating, or they'll provide a payment plan. The government has said they will support people. Therefore, HMRC is part of the government. They will have to. Okay, albeit maybe not the best way, but they might be a little bit draconian in it, but I would strongly suggest you call them and work with them. Okay. After this call, I'll put on our website HMRC's time to pay telephone number. So keep abreast of all the affairs that are out there. We're trying to put as much information on our blog posts as we see it coming out. It's a challenging time. I have no doubt about it. But I think if I had to kind of end, as I'm going to end this brief call shortly, is I suppose the key summaries are: you're going to have to raise your head above the parapet. You have to lead. Okay, you have to lead for your team. You have to lead for your family. You have to lead for your community, and you have to most importantly lead for yourself. Okay, so you need to actually do something different. Okay, and be out there, because you cannot do it on your own. You need to get your team to support you behind you. If you support them, they will definitely step up and support you, and not just for the short term, but this will buy loyalty for the long term. In your marketing, definitely keep your marketing going. Your marketing is key. Okay, don't shut it up, turn it off. If you turn it off now, remember in 3 months' time, you'll have 0 patients coming through the door because they've forgotten about you. People will have forgotten about you. So you need to keep that going. Okay. In terms of communication, keep communicating to your clients, keep them aware of what's going on, whether you're open, whether you're closed, whether things are changing, what are the services you can provide in this time, the emergency care you may be able to provide. Definitely keep communicating to your patients. And then in terms of cash flow, managing your monies, okay, look at where you can pare things back. Look at where the opportunities the government is helping with bank loans, with talking to your banks, with delaying your tax payments where possible, with your landlords, keeping a records for insurance, all of these things, dealing with your finance lease companies, contacting them. All of these are very, very relevant. Okay. And lastly, really just want to say, this time will pass. Okay. It will end. Okay. When? You don't know, I don't know, but it will end. Okay. And when it ends, we might not even realize when it's ended. The time will come and you'll be able to step back into your businesses, run your businesses again, and make hay. But the only way to do that is to keep things afloat now. And therefore, the only way you can keep things afloat are by keeping your team engaged. Okay. By keeping a close eye on your cash flow, getting the banks to support you, or whoever you need to support you for the finance. Okay. And at the same time, keeping your marketing going. All right. Good luck. If you need anything, I'm lucky enough to have an awesome team behind me to help me get all this information out there. I cannot say how great my team are being to step up. You might just see my ugly mug on Facebook Live and writing the blog post, but my team are absolutely key to behind this. Okay. So a big shout out to them, because without them, I wouldn't be able to do any of this. Okay. So, and if you need any help, pick up the phone, drop us an email, send me a message on Facebook. I'm not the biggest Facebook person in the world, but I'm getting used to it. Okay. Good luck. Take care. And hope this has been useful. Thank you.